Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to discuss a topic that has been at the heart of our national conversation for quite some time: the BBC and the TV licence fee. The question is simple. Should the British Broadcasting Corporation continue to be funded by the public through a mandatory TV licence fee, or should it find its own way in the competitive landscape of broadcasting? Before we delve into this, let's clarify what the TV licence fee is. As it stands, you need a TV licence if you watch or record any live broadcast, or if you watch BBC iPlayer. This means that even if you never tune into a BBC channel, but you watch live broadcasts from other networks, you are still required to pay the licence fee. Now, let's start by acknowledging the BBC's rich history and its contributions to our society. From its inception in 1922, the BBC has been a beacon of journalistic integrity and quality programming. It has informed, educated and entertained generations of Britons and has been a source of national pride. However, we live in a different era now. The media landscape has evolved dramatically. We are no longer limited to a handful of channels. The advent of the internet and digital technology has given rise to a multitude of platforms and services. Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney, to name a few, are all vying for our attention and our subscriptions. In this new world, the BBC is no longer the only game in town. It is one among many, and yet it is the only one that every household in the UK is legally required to fund, regardless of whether they consume its content or not. But the issue goes beyond the question of choice. In recent years, the BBC has been embroiled in a series of scandals that have tarnished its reputation. From the mishandling of the Jimmy Savile case to the controversy surrounding the Martin Bashir interview with Princess Diana, the BBC has shown the lack of the transparency and accountability that we, as the public, have a right to expect. Furthermore, there have been growing concerns about bias in the BBC reporting. While the BBC Charter mandates it to be impartial and to provide balanced coverage, many have questioned whether it has lived up to this standard. The BBC, which was once a trusted source of unbiased news, is now seen by some as having a political agenda. The BBC of today is not the BBC of yesteryears. The world has changed, and it is time for the BBC to change with it. It is time for the BBC to stand on its own 2 feet, to compete on a level playing field with other broadcasters, and to earn its funding through the quality of its content, not through a mandatory tax on the British public. The abolition of the TV licence fee is not about undermining the BBC. It is about fairness, choice, and accountability. It is about ensuring that the BBC, like any other broadcaster, is responsive to its audience, that it delivers content that people want to watch and are willing to pay for. In conclusion, the TV licence fee is a relic of a bygone era. It is time to move forward, to embrace the future, and to allow the BBC to evolve into a modern broadcaster that can truly serve the needs and interests of the British public. Thank you.